we've had people propose flat taxes, simplifying the tax code because the tax code is insanely complex, and it's I don't know how many pages it is, but it's ridiculous. Is there an ideal tax code in your mind?
Well, simpler is definitely better because when you create all kinds of loopholes, it just basically tells every accountant, every tax prep person in the country, go exploit those loopholes.
Yeah.
And it means that if you're someone who's got a really good accountant, you end up paying not many taxes, and the guy that is just an ordinary worker will end up getting clobbered by most of the revenue. We used to have actually a much more complicated tax code than we did currently. And I think that's where the case for the flat tax uh, came in, is that 40 years ago, it was the case that lower income people paid a higher share of their income in tax than rich people because there were all kinds of loopholes for everything from like grazing horses on your property to like growing all kinds of different crops that people could basically rich people could take advantage of. People could like people who had capital income found it very easy to avoid taxes. People who were workers found it very hard to avoid taxes. And so there was definitely a push to say if we just had one flat tax to everybody, it would mean that there would at least be fairness and rich people wouldn't be able to take advantage of all the deductions. Um, we've done a pretty good job, I think, over the last 40 years since the Reagan administration of reducing the tax burden on ordinary working people, basically trying to shift the tax burden of the rich, like not really by increasing taxes on the rich, but basically by cutting taxes on ordinary workers, um, much less than they used to be. It used to be that everyone paid about a third of their income in taxes. Now working class people will probably pay like 10-15%. So it'd be substantially lower. We could go further that way. I think that kind of makes sense. Cutting tax rates for ordinary workers is definitely something we should be trying to do. But yeah, having more complexity generally advantages people who can pay for other people to prepare their taxes and have
Right.
you don't
Pay for
really
that
want half
brilliant
your
accountant.
economy to be geniuses trying to dodge taxes with
Right.
accountants.
Right. And I'm sure accountants would hate to see a flat tax because that, tax accountants would be like, well, what do
Yeah.
I do?